Good day. It's about 9 o'clock on the 9th of November, and I thought I would do our November tour. If you watch us regularly, you will know that I didn't do an October tour, just didn't get around to it. And actually that theme fed through a lot of the month because there is so much to do on the plot. I mean, so much tidying to do on the plot. I was looking at Vivi's the other day, which is looking pretty pristine. And I thought, yeah, I could do with Vivi over here for a few days to give me a hand to sort things out here. But you know what? The good thing is we've got an awful lot still growing. And much of what we've got growing is going to give us food through to March, maybe even April, and potentially with some of the brassicas into May. So, yeah, the bits that are a mess are an utter mess. The bits that are for us for eating are an utter joy. So, without further ado, let me get to the corner of the plot and I will show you the mess and the joys of the plot this November. Because last November, I think it was quite a bit tidier. I'm now thinking about prioritising. Now I do have, fingers crossed, a bit more time. I'm thinking of prioritising. And I think this area here is going to be a priority over this area here. Somebody has said that they want that cardoon that is in the middle now, so that will be coming out. All of this is going to be cut back and go into our compost bin, and then anything that doesn't have couch grass or bindweed in it here or sankfoil will also go into our bin at some point over the coming, maybe by the end of December. Oh, can you see that? Oh, I'm sure that was a little vole. Oh, you see, that's the thing. You leave things like this cover and it becomes a haven for wildlife. I mean, we do want things on the plot, but we also need to crack on. As I said, I think maybe it was actually in a week at the plot, this cardoon, as you can see, has started growing again from the base. These are rather gorgeous though, look at them, and will be a habitat for quite a few insects at the moment. So I'm leaving them. Right, let's come over to actual food things. All of our squash have come out of this bed, apart from that one there. And this bed needs a really good weed. It actually needs to be treated in the same way as these beds have been. It needs a really good forking over because there's plenty of sankfoil in here. These two beds have not been forked over since we did the no dig method 2 years ago. And when we did the no dig method 2 years ago, we put down 3 thick layers of cardboard and then compost on top that we got from Ealing Riding Stables. And the pernicious weeds, the pernicious perennial weeds like sankfoil, just happily come through. So yes, these are beds that are going to be forked over once the brassica season has finished, which actually is not going to be for another 6 months, though this area here and at the end and this area down here will be forked because I'm going to be putting Portuguese cabbage in there, the seedlings that we have. This Brussels sprout, I've got a ribbon on it because I'm going to try and save seeds from it for next year. You can see that the sprouts are forming really quite nicely. We've got sprouts coming on all of the Brussels sprouts, not surprisingly. These here are really, really tight and are like button Brussels sprouts. Mind you, a few snails in there, look. Or slugs. Yeah. Look at these dandelions. I wonder how far their roots go down. But yes, this area and here, along here, is all going to be weeded and replanted. Let's get back to the end. This bed has Vivi's broad beans in it. And yeah, nothing showing so far, but that's sort of expected that we wouldn't have anything showing. That I still need to plant up with garlic, which I hope is going to be this week. Moving on to this bed, you can most probably see through the netting, there's quite a lot of kale in there, being Portuguese cabbage, dazzling blue kale and Cavallo Nero. And these are the ones that we found unexpectedly at the back of the polytunnel about 2 or 2.5 months ago. And they have recovered really, really well. Brassicas generally do. And then moving over, excuse the shadow, in here we've got lots of turnips. You see in there, I might as well pull that one. Lovely turnip. Nice size. That's purple top Milan. That will be going, I think, maybe grated into a salad later. Just going to pop it there. The turnips are doing quite well. The beetroot, it was a very late sowing and they're not doing too well, but they have been sat on by a fox as well. So let's go back over here. Oh, I've just seen a bone. Fox has brought a bone in. These lettuce here will be coming out today. I put in some chard, leftover chard, you can see there and over there. That seems to have settled in fine. But I'm going to take this lettuce out. I've realised it is Marvel of Four Seasons. I've got plenty of seeds, so I'm not going to seed save from it. And then I'm going to cut back this lavender and sow more broad beans in this area here. Those broad beans aren't from Vivi that I'll be sowing there. They're from another plot holder. Still got some carrots and our parsnips. Yeah, our parsnips actually. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. That's deep down. That's, I'm not sure if you can see it down there. Can you see it? The sort of white in there. Oh, I don't think you can. Because the soil is so light here, I do find that parsnips pull themselves down, and they're about at least 4 inches. The shoulders of the parsnips are at least 4 inches below the soil. But that's fine. They're developing nicely. We'll start having them soon. Oh, weeding, weeding, weeding. The dazzling blue kale is doing really well. No sign of bolting in the middle there. And then along here we've got Nero di Toscana, which are much smaller. Much smaller. But look at that. Can you see the colour on that dazzling blue kale? I mean, that's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And then our Portuguese cabbage over there. As you can see, there's some leaves which have really been eaten. It's unusual to see Portuguese cabbage eaten so much by slugs or snails. that's sort of part of the big tidying job I need to do. And of course, anything, look how huge they are. I mean, these are sort of coming up to maybe 4 foot high. Well, in fact, those there are maybe a bit higher, even 4.5 maybe. Big leaves. Look at that puddle of dew or rain there. Look at that. Gorgeous. And yes, we're harvesting from these. Oh, lots to do on the bench. It really is a messy November tour. Lots of grass to get up. I saw 2 toads over there the other day in here, so I'm going to have to hand pull that again rather than strimming it. The bed needs tidying, but isn't that actually rather a lovely sight with the sunshine coming through? Still got a few calendula holding themselves. Is that a scabious there, I think? That purple. Gosh. I love these. Verbascum. So majestic. Right, you'll remember that we did the fruit bed back in the spring. I gave it a really good weed, but look at how much weed is in there. There's another hands and knees job. Jobs, 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 jobs. Right. Oh, I can see some fox poo right in the middle there. Or cats, or diuretic, anyway. Diuretic. Anyway, won't get stuck on that, so to speak. On this side, we've got some further broad bean seeds that we were given. No, on this side, we've got broad bean seeds. And on this side, we have onion sets. I wasn't going to overwinter onion sets, but one of our plot neighbours gave us some. So, yes. 3 frogs were in here yesterday. It needs such a tidy, but the frogs are there at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it. Soft fruit bed. Still getting the occasional raspberry, you can see there. This needs, it all needs a tidy. What's the point of saying this needs a tidy? It all needs a tidy. Portuguese cabbage. Again, these are just going to be going through till next year now, which is fantastic. I've still got potatoes. What are they? Sarpomira in here. We haven't dug up any yet, but I think I'm going to have to sort that out soon. That pond liner isn't in the ground. Things can get out of it, and the other day there was a frog in it. This is one of the beds that is not next to be sorted. Not sure you can even see it in the sun. And that side of it, I have realised I need to dig out that whole area with that hebe in, with the cherry, with the lavender. It all needs to be forked really deep, because what's happening is the weeds here are coming into this bed. So if I don't sort that, if I just sort this, that is going to continue encroaching. So I need to sort that area. All of our potatoes came out. These were Colleen early potatoes, and we only had, in fact, we still got some at home at the moment, and they were fabulous. Saffron coming up. Then moving around in the polytunnel. In the fleece tunnel, we've got Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce and also coriander and parsley, and it's obviously fleeced up to keep as much warmth in as possible. These are the Portuguese cabbage seedlings I was talking about earlier, and then various other cuttings and cuttings of roses down there, plants now on the bench. And this is a black currant that I was gifted a few weeks ago that I took back to bare root. Over here you can see we've got some chard growing. That all needs a weed. The verbascums in here need to come out. I'm going to try and be much more strict this coming growing season and make sure that when things volunteer themselves in the wrong place, I either take them out and compost them, or I take them out and put them into a place that I actually want them. Another bed to be sorted. We've got some chard in here, but I mean the weeds have just overtaken. Yeah, what a year. Our little apple tree really did poorly this year, and I'm going to give it one more year, and we'll see whether it does anything. If not, there's no point in it having it there. This is a thyme that I took out from one of the beds, and here we have a Spanish lavender, and then bits and pieces. So much tidying. And then asparagus, which are in these pots and just growing up through the apple tree. Oh, so much to do. All of this bed needs weeding, and I sort of think maybe that bed needs to be started again. Yeah. Because this is a flower area at the end here, and I want to do that, but I'm also wondering whether it's sensible. When I came to pull up some of this the other day, there was a frog under there, so I've left it. Carrots are doing okay. And somebody did say, why am I watering? Well, they didn't ask why I'm watering the carrots, but are saying that carrots go down to get their water. Well, yes, they do, but there needs to be water down there for them to get. And in this area, there is very, very little water. We're right at the top of the plot, top of the site, sorry, and right down there is the bottom of the site, which is about 2 meters below us. And of course the water, it drains very well from this area down to the lower area. And because there's so much buddleia under here as well, buddleia root, these do need watering. But as I said the other day, I'm watering at the edges and between the rows rather than spraying on top, so that I don't flatten them too much. And then hopefully the water goes down and then their roots can go down. Some squash, and at the back over here we've got some coriander that was spare. But yeah, that's it. That is it. Gosh. I don't think, I mean, the thing is, we've got harvest coming through, but I don't think the plot rather, has ever been this much of a mess. But it's been a bit of that type of year for us this year. Last year was bizarrely better. This year has been quite a challenge, but not really in time. It's been more about headspace. and the amount of volunteering work that I'm doing, which has really quite compacted the amount of time that I've had down here. But anyway, I'm making moves to change that situation of volunteering hours to give me more hours here and more headspace, because that's what I need, certainly. Right, well look, I'm going to leave it there for this November plot tour. Very brief, mostly mess, but some gorgeous and joyful harvests as well. See you very soon. And if you don't watch A Week at the Plot, please do. And if you watch A Week at the Plot, I hope you're watching this. Bye.